Live from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Now at 11, the newest details from wine country wildfires. The death toll now at 40, and it's expected to grow. 223 people are still missing, 5,700 homes and businesses lost. And that's not including the homes that burned today. Tonight, 100,000 people are evacuated. And good evening to you. I'm Juliette Goodrich.
And I'm Brian Hackney. Before we get to the fire lines tonight, I wanted to show you this brand new video that just came into the newsroom. The Berkeley Fire Department just released it. It shows their crews responding to the Tubbs fire early Monday morning. This is just minutes after the first reports of the first fires. One of the first things they rolled up on was the Santa Rosa Kmart that burned to the ground. They didn't even stop because they say they could tell they had no chance to save it. Moments later, they drive past a gas station that is fully engulfed. The driver of the engine said that he could feel the heat from the building all the way inside the cab. And finally, crews end up in the Coffee Park neighborhood of Santa Rosa after hundreds of homes had already caught fire in the small hours of Monday morning. In the video, you can hear the crew describe the destruction. The team was completely in awe of the fact that the neighborhood had been wiped out.
Now, 6 days later, more flames. And this is how the day started. Winds picked up overnight and started swirling the flames in dramatic fashion. It started new flare-ups that forced another round of evacuations. The scene looked eerily similar to Monday morning when the fires first got started. And this is what this morning's activity led to: more burned down homes. CAL FIRE isn't releasing an exact number in today's destruction, but our crews in the field counted at least 3 homes that were destroyed today. And by this afternoon, the winds were much calmer, but you can see from Chopper 5, flames were still creeping up some of the steep hillsides in Sonoma County. Despite today's challenges, containment at the Nuns fire went up a little while ago from 10 to 15%. But there are 2 big trouble spots tonight. To the south, flames got very close to the city of Sonoma. And to the north, Santa Rosa's Oakmont neighborhood got another scare. And that is where KPIX 5's Katie Nielsen is tonight. She leads off our team coverage. Katie.
Yeah, Juliette, we're actually just off of Highway 12 and Pythian Road. If you take a look back behind me, you can see the flames. This is from a controlled burn that CAL FIRE is doing in between Hood Mountain Regional Park and the Oakmont neighborhood. They want to try to ensure that the fire that started this morning, it was a spot fire caused by all the winds, doesn't push down and threaten the homes.
Dropping well.
Firefighters are working through the night to contain fires whipped up by this morning's wind, hoping tonight doesn't bring more of the same.
There are variable winds, gusty winds on the ridge tops, and a heavy fuel load, steep terrain. All that stuff adds up to active fire behavior.
The morning winds blew embers from the Tubbs fire across fire lines and started a new spot fire in the Hood Mountain Regional Park. That new fire threatened the eastern edge of Oakmont off Pythian Road. Crews spent most of the day fighting the fire with drops from helicopters. But as the sun set on the valley, another fire concern, this time a few miles south on Highway 12 near Kenwood in the Sugarloaf Ridge State Park. The biggest threat? A radio repeater tower at the top of the ridge that's part of CAL FIRE's communication system.
Repeater sites are key infrastructure for radio communications.
Air tankers dropped retardant trying to stop the fire from damaging the tower, while flames shot 200 feet in the air.
Those flame lengths is what causes us to worry. If the winds kick up, they're going to throw embers farther away.
CAL FIRE says they're trying to keep this arm of the Nuns fire off the valley floor and away from the homes in Kenwood. The fire has to go somewhere, so they're letting it run north across the eastern side of the hills until planes and helicopters can start attacking it from the air at sunrise.
It is in steep terrain, so that's about the only resource that we can use up there until we can get access either by road or some other means.
So we are now in the middle of the night crew. That means hand crews from CAL FIRE as far away as Seattle are here. It also means bulldozers are cutting lines because those aerial attacks can't start again until the sun comes up. So tonight, one of the best defenses for the fire is starting another fire, as we were talking about before. These are the backfires that CAL FIRE has started. They're trying to clear away any of the brush, grasses, leaves, anything that has fallen in this area that could create kind of a firestorm environment where embers could be blown around throughout the night and into the neighborhood. So their goal tonight, try to control these fires and keep everything quiet until they can start working on them by air again tomorrow morning. Live in Oakmont, Katie Nielsen, KPIX 5.
All righty, thank you, Katie. The big factor tonight and overnight in the small hours is going to be whether or not the winds pick up. The latest on the conditions show the temperatures are cooling off. Of course, the humidities are coming up. That's good news. But after midnight tonight at the higher elevations, the winds are forecast to kick up to 20 to 30 miles an hour again, and it'll be from a dry direction. So the humidity will remain low overnight. Red flag warnings have been extended through tomorrow morning. Temperatures will warm tomorrow. That is not good news. But in the longer term, there is fantastic news. It looks as if showers will return to the Bay Area for the first time in months, coming in sometime late Wednesday or Thursday. I have complete details in the forecast. But those showers will not arrive in time to beat down the Nuns fire. That has been keeping crews busy to the southeast on the outskirts of Sonoma. Flames came within a mile and a half of downtown, and KPIX5's Don Lynn says firefighters were able to save some wineries, but they couldn't save all of the buildings in the fire's path.
The flames that started high up in the hills made their way down to the valley floor where it's more populated. This strike team saved this winery on Laval Valley Road, putting out flames burning at the front entrance. They happened to drive past the structure and noticed the fire. Not every property is so lucky. Flames this morning destroyed multiple houses, including this one on Half Moon Street. A ruptured gas line kept the flames howling, even though there's nothing left to burn.
It's kind of heartbreaking because, we work really hard to try to keep it out of here. And, weather kind of throws us a monkey wrench every now and then.
For much of the day, it was intense firefighting. On the ground, firefighters used bulldozers to cut fire breaks, hoping to cut off any fuel for the marching flames.
It just keeps changing, Gets windy, slows down, windy, and then slows down.
In the air, non-stop water drops. We counted at least 6 different choppers continuously dumping water. The pilots would hover above the hotspots, bring the choppers to the lowest point, and douse the flames with pinpoint accuracy. By late afternoon, the hard work paid off. We saw a lot less flames and a lot more white smoke, a sign that the stubborn fire was giving up. We don't know exactly how many houses burned down today. I saw 3 in this neighborhood. A colleague saw a few more up in the hills. In Sonoma, Don Lynn, KPIX 5.
Well, some of the fires are reporting a big jump in containment tonight. The Redwood Complex fire in Mendocino County is 30% contained. The Pocket fire near Geyserville is now 15% contained. And the Atlas fire in Napa County is now 48% contained. And the Tubbs fire is now 50% contained. Now, we showed you this new video of Berkeley firefighters responding to the Coffee Park neighborhood the night the fire broke out. Well, now, nearly a week later, some of the evacuees whose homes did not burn are being allowed back in. Our team coverage continues now with KPIX 5's Andrea Borba.
Tens of thousands of people remain evacuated in the North Bay tonight from all of these wildfires. But some here in Santa Rosa finally got to come home tonight after days of wondering if their house was still there. This is the corner of Box Street and San Miguel Avenue in Santa Rosa at the edge of the Coffee Park neighborhood. Tonight, only piles of ash and blinking utility trucks remain where memories and lives were built. Just a 2-minute drive away sits Brian Baca's house. Normalcy is returning for Brian in the form of sweeping out gutters filled not only with leaves but ash. Brian, his wife, and his cat Monkey evacuated early Monday morning.
We walk outside and the sky's just glowing and it was completely surreal. Just, yeah.
The story is the same for roommates Wolfgang Zieber and Ryan Hedman.
You could see just the red glowing You couldn't quite see flames, but you could see just the red, just the fire glowing essentially. And every once in a while, I don't know, something would blow up, and it would just light up the whole sky, and you'd hear explosions going off.
And I remember coming outside, and there was actually a couple who was like all out of sorts. Like it was weird to see people on the sidewalk at that late at night, and the lady was like on her phone telling her dad that her house had burned down.
They all evacuated northwest Santa Rosa, not knowing what they'd return to.
Basically, I grabbed my mountain bike and some, I really like cooking, so I grabbed some kitchen knives and stuff like that I had, and a few other things, and then I got out of here.
I grabbed a lot of clothes and my computer tower, and that's pretty much it.
They're all profoundly grateful to have survived the firestorm and to still have a home to go home to.
That's things. I mean, we work to get all these things and all the time and energy that all represents, but really what it was is that my wife and I are safe, and so are our cats.
There are still problems that remain in this part of Santa Rosa tonight. Among them, the fact that the PG&E lines, the gas lines, come through the Coffee Park neighborhood. Most of those have been severely damaged by the fires, so gas remains a problem where I'm standing tonight. In Santa Rosa, Andrea Borba, KPIX 5.
And still to come, saving California's oldest winery. Details on today's incredible teamwork between local firefighters and out-of-state crews.
This one of the new fires that erupted today in Sonoma County, crews tackling it by hand now. An inside look at how firefighters from across the West Coast are tackling fires like this one coming up.
This is truly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tragedy that California's ever faced.
Governor Brown and California senators tour the damage and weigh in on the recovery. That's next. Welcome back. Governor Jerry Brown toured the damage in Sonoma County today, along with California's 2 U.S. senators. And as KPIX 5's Jackie Ward explains, they promise financial assistance to fire victims.
At a community meeting in the gym of Santa Rosa High School, hundreds were there to get some answers and express their concerns. One of those people was Janine Marsden. She lives in the Bennett Ridge neighborhood with her fiance, their 2 dogs, and cat. Janine wasn't home when the fire started, but her fiance was, and she called the fire department as soon as she saw flames coming up the ridge from Napa.
And they were told there's no evacuation. Don't worry, you're fine.
Yet within 20 minutes,
she was driving through flames, running for her life.
Now their home is ash. Before the community meeting, Governor Brown, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and Senator Kamala Harris all vowed to help people like Janine get their lives back to normal as soon as possible.
This is truly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tragedy that California's ever faced. The devastation is just unbelievable. It's a horror that no one could have imagined.
In terms of money, Senator Harris and I are going to put our heads together. I'm an appropriator. And I'm going to go back and see what we can't do to beef up those accounts to get more money.
One problem, Senator Harris says, is the fact that the federal government doesn't recognize wildfires as natural disasters for the purposes of FEMA funding.
So we need to correct that. That's a flaw in the system, because what ends up happening is then the Forestry Service doesn't have the resources to deal with something like what we've been saying.
Until Janine and thousands of others get the disaster aid they so desperately need, they'll hold on to what they do have, each other.
Our home is gone, but you know what? My family got out. They got out.
Another point of contention for Janine is the fact that she pays a $119 fire prevention tax, even though, as you heard, she lives less than a mile from a fire station and can see a fire hydrant from her home. In Santa Rosa, Jackie Ward, KPIX 5.
Well, tonight, over 10,000 firefighters and nearly 900 engines have come from all over to battle flames across Sonoma County. KPIX 5's Wilson Walker spent the day with them as they fought to save Santa Rosa's Oakmont neighborhood.
We feel like we're in a real good spot. We've got a great water supply here. We'll try to make a stand here and ultimately see if we can protect these 10 structures in this area.
It was a battle waged on the northern edge of Sonoma's wine country, fought along a wooded canyon bordered by wineries and the county's sprawling juvenile justice center.
A definite wind shift up canyon, and it's a little breezier down here on Highway 12.
Leading the fight on the southern flank, Captain Richard Clark of the Pasadena Fire Department, managing this strike crew and watching the wind.
A couple things we're looking at right now is what the aspect of the ash field is doing. What we're getting dropping on us right now gives us indication of where the fire is flowing.
On the northern flank, a strike team led by Battalion Chief Jim McCoy.
Yeah, this fire's backing down in the canyon. We've got a big dump pile here, so we're trying to keep it out of there just because if the fire gets in there, it'll generate a lot of heat.
And right in the middle, Lieutenant John Johnson and his crew, all the way from Gig Harbor, Washington.
We have a fire coming backing down the hill.
Together, they stormed through trees and brush to protect buildings, cleared debris from rooftops, beat down flames that seemed to spring up in all directions, all while the air cavalry pounded away from the skies above.
We also know we've got the air crews above us. When the air crews are above us, the fire front's getting pretty close.
The helicopter attack for this, about as relentless as the fire itself, all of the water for which is getting pulled out of this pond, sometimes by 2 helicopters at the same time. And this, of course, requires some very precise coordination with all of the men and women who are fighting that fire back on that hillside.
Yep, that's the way it has to be, really. The air resources can hurt us with dropping the water from those heights, and everyone kind of has to know what's going on and what the other crews are doing.
And this, of course, just one of the fires unfolding across our region tonight, just one of the ad hoc teams of firefighters assembled from across the western United States and around the world, and just one small piece of a catastrophe that refuses to burn itself out.
Where are you up from?
I'm from Santa Barbara City. I have a strike team from Santa Barbara County, Montecito, Lompoc, Santa Maria, Carpinteria. So we're a long ways from home.
Hey, thanks for coming up and helping us out.
You bet.
So as the sun sets here in Oakmont, it is now hand-to-hand combat with the flames that are rolling through this field. Crews will be here through the night, making sure that the progress they made on this fire today is not lost in the overnight hours. Might be before morning before we know exactly how much success they ultimately have. We're in Oakmont. Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.
We're going to switch from the immediate effect of the winds to the air quality around the Bay Area, which was better today. It is still going to be on the unhealthful level tomorrow, especially, of course, in the North Bay. In fact, all the levels forecast to be unhealthful levels, just worse in the North Bay than in the rest of the Bay Area. The reason that things improved south of the Golden Gate Bridge is because we had that offshore flow that really powered the smoke plume out over the Pacific, heading out toward the Sonoma County coastline instead of south and east into parts of the rest of the Bay Area. So things cleared up, unless, of course, you were close to the fires today. Right now, the numbers down to 58 degrees at Concord and 62 in San Francisco. High pressure is building in over the Pacific Northwest. It'll warm things up tomorrow by about 5 degrees It dries out the lower atmosphere, and the winds remain from a dry direction. They will pick up at the higher elevations after midnight tonight from 20 to 30 miles an hour. The temperatures will warm tomorrow. The air quality suffers. It'll be sunny and warm through Tuesday, but the headline really in all of this is that the chance of rain in the Bay Area, and there couldn't be better news, will come into the Bay Area early on Thursday and perhaps linger into Friday. Not a huge soaker. It's not a certainty, but indications are it's going to happen. Thursday lingering into Friday morning. Let's hope it holds together. Just to change the topic momentarily, Raiders taking on the Chargers. Game will be broadcast on Channel 5 tomorrow at 1:25 p.m. Be a little hazy. Game time temp 79. So it warms up to 78 in San Francisco tomorrow, 86 in San Jose, Oakland 81 degrees. Down in the South Bay, the numbers will be in the low to mid 80s and sunny skies. Over in the East Bay, sunshine and haze. And of course, up in the North Bay, there will be smoke, hazy sunshine in Santa Rosa tomorrow. Not good, the fact the numbers are coming up and the humidity is going down. In Santa Rosa tomorrow, 87 degrees. Does not help. 84 at Novato, 86 in Sonoma. And up in Ukiah, plenty warm as well, 87 degrees. Extended forecast, a little bit of a warming trend tomorrow and Monday before temperatures begin to fall on Tuesday. Then things fundamentally change. Wednesday, when's the last time you heard this? Increasing clouds leading to a chance by early Thursday of rain overspreading the Bay Area, and that'll be a mighty shot in the arm for the firefighters, but it's coming 4 days down the road if it holds together. We hope it will. In the meantime, the hazards tonight, winds are going to pick up after midnight, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Not good, but at least there is rain on the horizon. That's weather. Here's sports.
All right, first up next, today's scramble to save the winery in the state. We'll have that and sports with Vern up next.
Tonight, a historic winery is still standing thanks to some hardworking firefighters.
You can actually see how close the fire came to the building. It's known as the Castle at the Ledson Winery in Kenwood. It's east of Santa Rosa. And to the southeast, California's oldest winery, Buena Vista, was also threatened by flames. The Nuns fire got close, but thanks to teamwork from local and out-of-state crews, the winery was left unscathed. Now, time now for sports. We're going to switch gears and turn things over to Vern. Kind of lighten the mood, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. Hey, Stanford football, they may have got the best out of Oregon, but at what cost? The nation's leading rusher and Heisman frontrunner Bryce Love, well, he gave every Cardinal fan a scare at Stanford Stadium. What we know about the status of this back after this. College football up top, a real showstopper tonight, and I'm not talking about the score or performance. To Palo Alto. Wabbit season? Well, technically, yeah. Took a while to catch him. And then here's another hard one to catch. Running back Bryce Love. Look at him go! His ninth straight 100-yard game, 4 minutes into the game against Oregon. 147 yards and 2 scores before he left with an ankle injury in the third. Second quarter, look out, what a block party. Ducks punt picked and returned by Brandon Simmons. Cardinal rolled 49-7. But what is the status of Bryce Love moving forward? He is the Heisman Trophy front runner. Segue over to baseball for you. We got the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw getting all ready. NLCS game against the Cubs, no score in the fourth. And then Albert Almora Jr. took Kershaw the distance. The Cubbies led 2-0. Bottom of the sixth, though, tied at 2. Chris Taylor. This one ain't coming back. Solo job broke the tie, and the Dodgers went on to win Game 1, final of 5-2. Hey, got a couple of NBA stars. James Harden, teammate Chris Paul for the Houston Rockets, supporting the Astros, ALCS. Justin Verlander, he just 13 strikeouts in 9 innings against the Yankees, and his fiancée, yeah, she loved that. Bottom, the game was tied at 1 in the ninth. Carlos Correa, come on down, Jose Altuve. The throw is late, and that is how the Astros win it in a walk-off fashion, 2-1 as they lead that series 2-0. We'll drop the puck with the Sharks, the men of teal, against the New York Islanders, and they had no answers. For Brock Nelson, broke a 1-1 tie in the second. Islanders 3, Sharks 1. We'll be back.
We have one last update on the destructive wildfires burning in wine country. Tonight, the death toll is now at 40. It's expected to grow. 223 people are still missing, 5,700 homes and businesses lost, and that's not including the homes that burned today. 100,000 people have been evacuated.
We'll have complete coverage beginning tomorrow morning at 7:30. News and weather updates always on CBSSF.com. For now, good night.